Look at this. Not even halfway through the lunar cycle, Okonokis Totsitsitspi, when the Saskatoon berries ripen, and the choke cherries, which are the subject of the next moon, are already almost ripe. They can turn a little bit more, but they're getting there. They're getting there quick. Okay. Itamexkanatani, good morning. It is probably about 10 o'clock in the AM on Moon Day morning, July 23rd, 2018, in the lunar cycle Okonokis Totsitsitspi. And I'm out here at Spopikimi to take advantage of the berries. I just harvested I'll show you here if I can dig it out of my pocket. Gotta unbutton things. Just harvested a Tupperware full of Okonoki Saskatoon berries to add to my store that I've been making. This berry harvesting season, it comes and goes pretty quick, you know. I haven't even got any of my currants yet. These are the currants in here. I need to make some time for them as well. But I wanted to make sure I get Saskatoons first. Don't want to miss the currants though. Yeah, it's the berry harvest season, and a little bit of it every day. I got to try to commit to it. I haven't been at it for the past couple of days because I've been up in the mountains. And in regard to that, I got a little bit of bad news. I lost all my footage, all my GoPro footage. I have one little segment that involves a marmot on the ridge up above our camp that I only had my phone on me at the time, so I recorded that marmot on my phone. So other than that quick minute or whatever of marmot footage, I've got nothing. I came home, put my SD card into the computer, thought I loaded the files onto iMovie, spit my card back out, reformatted it in the camera, got it set up for the next day, went back into iMovie, nothing, it's all gone. And I spent a little time last night trying to work with some programs online to see if I could retrieve it. Nothing was working. Now, of course, I'm recording over it. So we lost that. In terms of documentation. And it's too bad because this was I think a really important climb this time. And maybe that's why, you know, maybe my message from this to my takeaway should be that, you know, it's okay not to have some things recorded. But the context was, I thought originally, and I think I talked about this on my last video, my mother-in-law's relative wanted to climb the mountain to fulfill a vow he'd made because he had cancer. And I thought that he had already escaped the cancer and that he had made the vow to do this. He said he would do this if he escaped the cancer. That's not exactly what's going on. It turned out to be that the cancer, he has been having a lot of, you know, he's been through a bunch of radiation treatment for it, and it's not working. It's not taking away the tumors, and the cancer is spreading in his body, and he feels like the medical community is just profiting off of him, and he's getting sicker from their treatment. So he's decided to stop taking their medications and treatments and turn to traditional means. And one of the things that he wanted to do in that regard was go up the mountain. So it was a pretty significant trip. So it's unfortunate that I don't have the film from it. We do have, he took a lot of pictures himself while he was up there. And there was one really good one he showed me. He took kind of a panoramic at our base camp. And I think that might be the best picture anybody's ever taken of our base camp. Even though it's not like crystal clear in the megapixels, you can really get a sense of the beauty of the place that we're in. So we climbed. Typically what I do is I'll take the first day, we'll go up to the base camp, drop our gear, then summit, and then come down, make our offerings at the summit, come down, and then sleep at the base camp, okay? And then hike out the next morning. I never recommend doing it in a day trip. You're just too rushed for one thing, and you have to be really athletic to pull that off. And if you're just there for an athletic experience, yeah, whatever. But if you're there for the mountain, I recommend you sleep there for a night. Okay, so we hiked in, and because he's been going through radiation treatment, my relative there, he wasn't able to summit. It took everything that he had to make it to the base camp in day one. I mean, typically, if I'm hiking with people who are, not even athletic, but like the other week, 2 weeks ago, the group I was going with, we made it up to the base camp, I think, in 3 hours or so. Not that long. Yesterday or Saturday, it took us 6 hours plus, I think, for everybody to get to the base camp. Everybody being me, my relative who was going up there to fulfill his vow, and my eldest niece, Ashton, who I had invited just the night before, and she was totally unprepared, but she jumped on because it would be a good experience for her, and she's never done anything like it, and she made it up to the base camp. She rested for a while in my hammock when we got there. And if you've been hiking for 5 or 6 hours, backpacking, and then you sit down in a hammock for an hour, you're not gonna then want to climb a mountain. Which is the point where we were at, like, okay, are we gonna summit? And she was happy not summiting. She was happy with just the experience of hiking to the base camp. She didn't want to summit. It was too much for her this time. But I think she'll come with me again in the future, and I think when she comes again, she'll get up there. So we just, we went the backcountry, we hiked it, and we, base camped, and then yesterday we came back out. Apparently there was not many snake calls or anything. I had a substitute working my skunks. She had a couple of calls on Saturday, nothing on Sunday, and then there was no snakes. There was no snakes until Sunday afternoon. There was a couple of calls on the snake hotline. One of them was a guy who had a raccoon, I guess, caught in his fence, and so with a little bit of instruction and stuff, he pried a couple of boards off the fence and released the raccoon, and everything was cool. The other call, the second call, was from somebody way outside of our region. And so nobody was going to go drive out there to assist. I believe it was a snake. So yeah, that was the weekend. Getting on, with this week. I got a skunk call early this morning. I released it here when I pulled in. And then I figured while I'm here I better go pick some berries quick, so I did that. And now I'm going to go back to the house. I got to concentrate this week on finalizing my research report from over the winter. You know, the report on the research that I did for Lethbridge College. That's got to be my absolute focus this week outside of snakes and skunks. So I'm going back to hone in on that at the house. But we'll see what we get today. I bet the snakes knew I was away, and so they took a break. I bet the snakes will give us some calls tonight. What did I tell you? Not even home yet from the pond, and I've already got my first snake call. And this one I think is going to be a significant case. If it's the resident that I think it is, it would be very significant. It might not be, but what's going on is that somebody has reported that there's a snake eating a fish out of their backyard pond, like a koi fish out of their backyard pond. And he wasn't sure if this was a rattlesnake or what kind of snake it was. I told him it's probably a garter snake or a bull snake, a wandering garter snake or a bull snake. And he thought, yeah, it might be a bull snake. And I told him, send me a picture, and he said, you know, but if it, in any case, you know, would you do anything about it? So I was like, yeah, I can come grab it. So I headed out. He texted me an image of it, and it is a wandering garter snake. And normally, you know, wandering garter snakes, because they're not venomous, it's not really part of my agenda to go pick them up. But I'm doing this because it is significant, because there have been residences in Riverstone that I've investigated where I believe people are killing snakes that are eating the fish out of their backyard ponds. But it is like setting up a bird feeder and expecting birds not to come if you set up a backyard pond. So it's not forgivable to be killing snakes, but if they're at least calling me to come get the snake that's eating the fish in their pond, all right, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that, you know, whether it's a rattlesnake or what have you. It's a way better solution, what I'm gonna do, than if they kill the snake. Oh, did he get away on us? Yeah, it's a wandering garter snake. Your husband sent me a photo.
Oh, he's so cute.
He's eating fishies, hey?
Like this one, the other one.
Yeah, they do.
And then I think he's like I haven't seen any swimming since, so like.
Yeah, they love to fish.
That's
It's
hilarious.
setting up a little fish pond is like putting a bird feeder back here for snakes.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we got him here. We got him here. Yeah, he can bite. He might even try to bite me. But yeah, they love to eat fish, these guys.
That's so cute.
And he's just the size he can still get through that quarter inch, you know.
Totally.
Okay, dude, you ready? Have a nice life. So back home now, and I'm sure some of you have wondered over the weekend how baby Bat has been doing. I'm going to show you that right now. Hey, baby Bat. Mahoney has given him the name Batness, like Katniss. What's going on there? Back home now, and I'm sure some of you guys wondered over the weekend how baby Bat was faring, and he's doing good. Mahoney was taking care of him over the weekend while I was in the mountains. Oh. And she has named him Batness. Something like Katniss, but Batness. Oh, 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 oh. And he's really good now at taking his formula, but he also needs a bath, because I am bad with the paintbrush, and I kind of get it all over him inadvertently. I fed him this morning. Mahoney did too, but when I feed him, I think he gets a little bit more messy. Mahoney's figured it out a little better. But yeah, she really likes this little guy, I think. Oh. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Okay, let it go so I can get you some more. Yeah, I think I will try him on a mealworm this evening. And I think we're gonna have to like start trying to split the wake-ups between me and Mahoney and take care of him more in the night than in the day, because I get the feeling that he wants to sleep during the day. You know, he's a nocturnal animal. And I'm feeding him, I don't know if it's a weird time. It would be the time his mom would be with him, but I don't know. But he's surviving. He needs a bath. We're gonna have to give him the bath. Oh, you don't like that, huh? You don't like that. Have to give you a little bath, mister. Oh. Because you're all gooky. You're all gooky with milk. It's just been a couple of hours since that feeding and bathing. But in that time, something's gone horribly wrong. And I can't help but feel that it's my fault. Batness here is unresponsive. He might even be passed away at this point. I can't really tell. Maybe 15 minutes ago I felt a little bit more sign of life in him, but right now he's not feeling very good. I can't see any breathing, can't feel any heartbeat. There's just no response. If I can turn him upside down like this and he doesn't respond. Stroke his belly, touch his legs. Come on, Batness. Open his mouth. See, his mouth still kind of feels like it might have some life in it. Gee whiz. Barely any response there at all, if that is any. Come on, Batness. Oh, Mahoney's gonna be really sad. She took care of him all weekend and he was doing good. Leaves me with him for a day and look at his state. Oh my goodness.